going to get takeout yesterday. He said, I'm so sick of this. Well, you can cook.
There you go.
That was pretty good. He could just a little bit and maybe.
Well, we could probably introduce ourselves to you, or you to us, if you don't know. I'm Greg. I'm one of the township trustees.
Yeah. And we met and
Bill. And then
we need that we stuff.
Okay, I guess it'll be 1952. Must have got me phone home.
Oh, man, are you looking at a lot better?
I just walked on, so everybody got me. I wasn't gonna come, I said I just.
So who are you?
For me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a couple of
Oh, no, it is. Also, maybe I'll be able to play. Oh, well, when I go over here, I just have one watch. It goes through.
No, that
You went to wait till our,
Oh, you had no idea?
I have no idea.
Oh, I do. I do some backdoor stuff that. They're the part of it,
No, I saw that in the paper.
Oh, yeah, for each consumer, that's. I know that. Why they didn't bring the ball.
It'd be hard not to. It'd be hard not to.
I mean, you're a CEO.
Yeah.
Okay, it's 4 o'clock. We're gonna call the meeting to order. We'll start out with the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'll take an approval of the agenda.
I'll move as submitted.
Thank you, Greg. Nanette, can I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Okay. Approval of the agenda, we're gonna have a presentation.
Aye.
Okay, I got a vote. What's that? Oh,
Aye.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, seeing none. We will move on to our presentation. Ryvar, right? Ryvar construction. Ryvar construction. Like you step up, Greg, right? Correct. Greg, stop.
Over to there.
I thought it's sort of the same thing, just a little bit of history, what we do, how we do it, and then some.
Is this more of this?
No,
Okay.
So as I've spoken with Bill and some of the others previously, I know y'all are trying to figure out something different to do with Township Hall. Got a couple scenarios, got the overbuilding, got some property. So really, I know you've had some past feasibility studies, information done, but I think based on how we do things, so we are a full service design build firm. So literally from start to finish. Typically start with the feasibility portion, which is there's a portion in your packet there that we can get into. I can further explain in more detail there, but the feasibility is typically taking, so if we're looking at this building, we would come into a full assessment, structural assessment, and then as we're assessing, we're also pricing, budgeting, so that you have something to work with. So in the case of your new piece of property, we would do a conceptual site plan. Based on that site plan, something that the board would agree with, then that as well, we would go through the process of doing preliminary budgeting and getting it to a point where we're doing, all your, taking care of all your solar borings, environmentals. I know he's had some stuff previously done, but like probably the most responsible way to look at that is once you properly lay out a site, you coordinate your borings and other things in areas so that you're getting accurate information so that you don't have surprises later on. That's part of the stuff that goes through the initial feasibility. But again, so you're aligning design, budget scenario along the way. So typically it's broken up into feasibility, then you've got a site plan phase, and then you've got basically a permitting phase. As a taxpayer of the township, I want to help. So by wanting to help, I would say helping the township get through that initial feasibility portion to figure out, okay, does this make more sense or does the other site make more sense? Ultimately, your decision. But then you have accurate information that you can make a responsible decision. Then once we get through the feasibility portion, as far as taking the project even through site plan, we're going through plan commission, any of the county permitting, all that sort of thing. Typically, full engineering needs to be done prior to going to site plan. As a part of that, you would have an updated, we do typically will do like a 30%, 60%, 90%. And you're getting accurate, up-to-date budgets as you go along the way. So when you start the project, you know exactly what it's going to cost instead of what I would say traditional. We do a little bit of both, but I like to stay away from that portion because it's, in my mind, doesn't work. So could go the path, could hire a firm, you could spend a whole bunch of time spending a lot of money on something that you have no idea what it's going to cost. A lot of those folks may go through and they're going to tell you they're going to look at means books and other methods to figure out what they think it might cost. And I can pretty much 99% tell you that that's not going to be the case. So going this path, it's giving you accurate information so that you can make a real and responsible decision.
Would you like the background for you?
To me, that is the most important part. So feasibility, getting ready for that. So what we like to do is spend a lot of time and do a really, really good job at that part. So that when it comes time for you to actually build the building, that becomes the easy part.
Just, I don't know how much you've gotten from Ken,
Yep.
but they look at this for a hell of a time.
Yep.
Twice, decision, we've done design, bid, build.
Yep.
So we did hire an architect and an engineer to look at it. New building and a township engineer, MCI. So we have a number of conceptual site plans for other site that have been gone through, which would be a good approach to go design build if that's a decision to make. We have a lot of information down the path of ways as well as program.
Yep.
So we did that for all the way up to starting design or design, not design development, and then the COVID thing. So we stopped there. And then subsequent to that, after the inflation prices after that, we're kind of sad. And had changed in the township board. And then the decision again was design, bid, build, looking at this site and this building on this site. And I don't know if you've seen what's been done there, but we got down through past design development on that phase to look at that. And a number of other things happened, including another change to the township board and some other things were ahead for our interest. And so we have that information as well. And we stopped the construction pricing, estimating, obviously, I know what you're saying. So we have a few
Probably the biggest value add that as we're going through that design process, because things change, needs change, but we're constantly value engineering things. So there's a lot of times like certain design folks might get set and where they're single sourcing certain things. So we like to do a really good job of making sure and going through and evaluating any and all options so that one, you're getting absolutely what you need or that works within your budget.
I guess,
So I got to ask a funny question.
Yeah.
So then why would you build anything?
oh, there's a ton of reasons for that. We have a lot of options.
Yep.
Probably not any option in any one person's mind. We all have the right option, but we have every option available to us. And things have come up, obviously. Reducing some of them. But also indecision. And I guess that's what I would say.
Rick, can I ask you a question? Sure. How much money do you think we spent on design and build?
I don't know, Ken, it doesn't
But
matter.
it's huge, a huge amount. I mean, this is 18 years. So that's what we keep saying, go forward, we just keep spending more money.
So, anyway, I guess all I can say is the board has not pulled the trigger on not. For whatever reasons, multiple reasons and individual reasons. And some things were beyond our control. Matter of fact, most recently, we thought we were going to be spending all of our money maybe on lawyers. But hopefully that's gone away. Here's to it. So now this is maybe more pertinent again.
I just, something you said that I didn't quite follow, you said something about 36 to 90.
So when I was saying 30%, 60%, 90% design phase, so the difference is like you might hire a design firm as they go through the design process. I don't know who you've worked with, if it's just been one select person or the board that's had an opportunity to sit in and be a part of those stages of development through the design, be able to put, to have input on things that are needs, wants, don't like, or they have a budget update and where they know what it's going to cost and they say, okay, well, we're kind of creeping into an area that we probably maybe need to back some things out. So then it's an opportunity to get doing some value engineering or looking at areas to potentially reduce, or you might have extra monies that you don't have to tell anybody that you want to spend, but maybe there's other needs that you say, yes, you know what? We want to do this. We need this. We want to do this. So it gives you more opportunity, more flexibility to be a part of that and be a voice, be able to sound your opinion through what's going on. And
We appointed a 3-person design subcommittee.
Yep.
To coordinate the design at that point, the architect and siting. That committee reported back with them. And that was sequence of getting that input. I mean, we did a program that each part had their input.
so like one of the things, so we do a lot of fire stations, and in the past, most of those are, historically they would go the design, bid, and build pack. Well, there's a lot. I've done several, so you get to know a lot of the people or whatever. There's been a lot of the guys that have chose to go this path, and you can see there's a case study in there where we're able to save them probably save them between six to 12 months of design time on the front end, and it saved them money on the design side on the front end. But then if you look at the cost per square foot on construction versus what projects that we've done that municipalities have hired an architect and they designed something that is probably a lot more than what they needed, and they spent a lot of taxpayer dollars to do so for something that wasn't totally necessary, and you can see there's a huge gap there in cost. So that's something also to consider that should really be identified.
So do you work with a certain set of subcontractors or do you bid?
Yeah, no, we've got probably, most categories, we've got probably 3 to 5 guys that we work with on on a pretty regular basis, good people, guys that have good pricing, they perform and you get the quality that we're expecting them to get. So,
And they bid subcontract?
Yep.
They're select.
no, so got to keep everybody honest. So
So who do you use for your design and your site engineer?
I have 2 different firms that I use architecturally, and then same on the engineering side for one is Mega, they're out of Falmouth, and the other is Metro Consultant.
They would be contracted to you.
Yep.
You did the whole
Yep.
design bid package. You do construction management?
Yep.
If we chose to.
Yep.
I mean, we have, like I said, twice we made the decision to go into the various boards to go that direction, but if we go construction management or design build, we have to make that as a quick delivery method.
The beautiful part for like Peapod Writing that worked well for them is they were getting a bond. They were doing theirs off the bond. So he needed a number. So the good part about going through that process with them, by the time we got to site plan approval, not even end of permit phase, by the time we got to site plan approval, we'll give him a solid lockdown hard number, and that's the number. So he was able to secure his bond. We gave him all the backup information that we need for his bond financing. And it's been a very, very good process.
So one of the things we do need to do too is we need to set a budget. I'm sure that we're going to be with what our current program is anyway. Right on the spot. What kind of square foot price range should we be thinking about for a new build? Nothing renovations, it's all in hand.
There's some other stuff in there as far as on a new build. I mean, what I tell everybody, that's your dirt. So 1,000% from acre bolts up, I can tell you pretty much what that building's going to cost when it's designed.
Okay.
But that's why we do through the feasibility portion, we go through and accurately locate the borings, got old farm fields, who knows what's dug, buried, or what's there. So we want to verify that stuff. And then once the site is laid out, a little different scenario, because you've got this road that's going to come back there. There's going to be some road work there. So you're talking probably apples and oranges to compare it to something else.
What about this build? Forget site work. I mean, that is its own no question.
I mean, you're probably for a building like that, I'm going to guess you're going to be probably a couple $100 a foot.
That would be a wonderful number. But, I mean, one building we've compared it to just as a Taco building, construction agency building.
Yep.
That $200 square foot building.
Again, I haven't walked through it extensively, but there's a lot that goes into that.
Yeah, well, I understand.
Now, what I could tell you is for probably next to nothing dollar wise, if you told me you wanted this size building and we went through a simple programming process, I could do a site study sketch for down the road. And I could give you a very close range of what that building's going to cost. Right up front.
Yep. And we can probably provide you good information on one of the multiple sites we have. We have one for here, certainly, down the road, and we have multiple of them for the other site. And we haven't verified it recently, but we have a pretty darn good program. I think we might want to mail you that so we know where we are, where we're talking. Are we talking 2 million, 5 million, 50 cents?
Again, going through a simple programming process, we could that's something you could come up with.
And how much would that think would be?
If you have all the boring information and that stuff there,
No, we have warrants. No, I'm just talking about conceptual estimate.
I'll do it for nothing. That's how confident I am.
Okay, I mean, really.
I do it for all my clients.
Okay.
Every client that I use, so even on the front end through the feasibility.
Well, it'd be no guarantee that we.
No. I'm explaining this. So when I do it with my regular clients, because I do a lot of big manufacturing, that type of work as well. And so like on the front end, they'll pay for borings and site evaluation, environmentals, any like wetland delineation, all that sort of thing. They'll pay that. It's such a great passing amount of charge at the time.
We have all that. Working on the board.
Then it should be pretty
Oh, we have.
pretty easy.
We got solar survey, topo,
Yep.
wetland delineation. This will be well accepted. Yes.
Yep.
Down there. And okay. That's what I've got.
Other recent projects, probably one of the bigger ones that we've done. So PT, not always our favorite people.
Hey, be careful.
So
Recording.
they decommissioned their Pontiac Service Center a few years ago, and we did their brand new service center in Waterford, Michigan, and we did it the same process.
And like,
Third generation. Comes with that. That was, you did the east side. Side.
that's what I got.
Any questions on that? That's my. Well, okay. Thank you.
We have some discussion on two things to make. And
Yeah.
hopefully, we can gather up enough information. Like we, into one of us here at Lima Down. Take you up on it.
We appreciate it. Yeah, we're moving on to that. We're having a board discussion right now on it. And that's what we're talking about. There's no voting or nothing taking place today. This is a total presentation. Yeah, that's all it is. And I thank Fred for taking the time out and coming and presenting it to us. I mean, we took it out to the board. Where's your other hand? Where's Ken? Can't be out doing wheat.
He's at a cow show with his son.
Oh, okay. I'll give it to him.
I didn't know that. I shouldn't think cow. Beef show? Beef show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Okay, at this point in time, we'll look at and more discussion. Okay, we'll go to public comment. Anybody have any public comment?
Yes, I'm simply looking at why is this happening again? This is so. This discussion of to build or not to build, and this and that, and then we'll go back and do it again. Let's start again. I'm a taxpayer, that's a topic. And it's just what happened with the plan on the website. But they're very, very thorough.
Which one was that?
The one that's on the website.
The one that the board approved a couple years ago.
It's not.
Oh, the $2.1 million one? Whatever it's planned.
Whatever plan you have.
That's the one for this building?
Yeah.
It's the one.
I don't think they ever voted on it though. Their plans are,
Yeah.
It was submitted, it's.
Yeah.
And go down the. So, super detailed, so they're going back to the bureau and spending more.
What's an option? Definitely an option. Yeah,
We're going with total cost, and it's just the same thing as when the power plant tried coming in here. The reason why they come out here is because it's cheaper to build new than just to go and tear down the road stuff and start over. So those are things you got to keep in mind. This is a situation that everybody loves this building, but it's been, you know, just like my truck I had in high school, I loved it, but it takes time to move on. These are decisions we're going to have to make as a board, and we'll listen to the residents. To me, I'll be upfront with you. When I campaigned 2 years ago, that was one of the things I campaigned on, was not to spend $2.1 million on this building. This should be a museum or something, or it should be left to the township, yes. But at the same time,
So we can make public comment, and we're gonna talk about it.
okay, go ahead, Ken.
Okay, well, I'm just saying, you said.
No, I'm just answering.
Well, but I did ask, why,
But
why?
she did ask, and are you done? Then you got a public comment?
Yeah, I've been involved I've lived in this township for 35 years. And for a good probably 18 of the years, we're talking about the apartment call. We probably spent on order of $1 million on it. We're buying that property. The lawsuit with Twinkie Beach that went all the way to the Supreme Court of Michigan, the township law. All that money gets distributed because what they want to do for a township law. I know you don't want what, and you can't even calculate what the attorney's fees are because it was a monthly bill. This township board, and I'm not saying these particular three, but the township board that represented us as the residents voted to approve and move forward with a plan. Just because some new people came on the board, they stopped. They haven't ever voted again not to do that plan. So that there is a motion and it was approved by this township to move forward with that plan, and you have nothing. We recently just dodged. Excuse me. This is my time to make public comment. And they never moved forward with that plan. They never voted again to not move forward with that plan. You just ignored the previous township board's opinion and vote, majority vote. And so instead, we just recently dodged the bullet. And so the first thing after we dodged the bullet, instead of saying, hey, maybe we should invest in a bulletproof vest. Oh no, we go back to where we were and been for 18 years. Let's build a new township hall. Well, you know what? What I would say is do what that little kid Lucas said. Take a vote. This township has been afraid to take a vote on if we should build a new township hall or remodel the old township hall. They're afraid they'll lose. Because we can sell that piece of property because we bought it so that we would own the piece of property that the fire hall was on. Now all of a sudden that got morphed into, oh no, we did it with the idea of a new township hall the old time. That is a lie, an out and out lie. And there's board members and previous board members will bring up the minute and say, right here. But then after they had that property, the only reason they had to buy that new piece because the owner wouldn't just sell the fire hall. He said you have to buy the whole thing or you don't buy anything. The township, not really willing to want to do that. They said, well, we want to own where the fire hall is. We don't want the fire hall to be renting property from upstream.
Okay. Thank you, Ken. But this is actually argument been going on for since '96, and it's been mentioned several times over the last 30 years, or more than that, 40 years.
And that
it was tabled on my behalf at that meeting when it was brought forward about the option that was available.
It was never a resolution for the township.
Okay. Okay, it's just, that's just water under the bridge, the same with whatever.
No, it's all kinds of water under the bridge. Do we have a PDR ordinance? No. 30 years we've been looking for a PDR
about that.
Right, but I'm saying, I'm talking about that. For 30 years, this township cannot decide to make a PDR ordinance.
It was brought up in 1996.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so when you know when you went through your PDR, you gotta, does the township have a PDR ordinance? And no one will check that box.
If you look at our agenda for Monday's meeting,
Oh, now,
No.
30 years.
You can't go back in.
You can't go back, that's water under the bridge.
I know, there's a
Or
lot
over
of
the
water
dam.
under the bridge. That piece of plywood has been up there for a decade. Because we don't want to make this building nice, because then people might say, yeah, we try to keep this building.
That's
We don't cut the weeds down outside, we don't spray Roundup, we don't put an air conditioner in the window.
Ken, you gotta quit. We know. Everybody's, like I said, everybody's got the right opinion. Everybody knows. You do what you do, you do what you do. Every person would have an answer what to do. We know we
I
have.
don't vote other people. Like Lucas said, and if you win the vote, fine, if you don't win the vote, vote someone.
I'd say to yes. Because
Yes, Elizabeth.
if the people are speaking and not being heard, nothing is happening. And bring forward.
Comment on that, relative to bring it to a vote, that's difficult because it's a very complicated situation. And it's hard to get meaningful vote, I think, on something like this. And so that's all I want to say about that. I just had one thing I wanted to throw out there about moving ahead with whatever you do. I think it would be a good thing to consider obtaining access to Lima 7 Berry things in this property. Just the circulation and like
That's,
easement, house,
That is-
You'd have to buy it.
And maybe,
You'd have to buy it from one of those properties.
yes.
Yeah,
it'd be-
we would have to
Yeah.
buy it.
But we can allude to the fact that, and this is a plan.
Oh, no,
They're
I'm not
obligated,
talking
right,
about.
they're obligated.
I know.
Yeah, well, that's what it is, unless we buy it from the outside.
Yeah,
Right.
well,
Well, that's fine.
I've applied to rural roads and safety for grants to pave that road. That for, to see if there's availability of a grant. And so that, but it'd take $1.2 million to pave that section of Lime Center.
I think Elizabeth was saying access was,
yeah, from this side, from this side, it actually like
which was
by the house.
And it wasn't easy.
Like the Twinkie, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
somehow,
I mean, yeah. But
that's all.
today's was just a presentation, tell you what's available out there, and we'll sit and talk about it. Dragging and that, obviously must be doing hay. That's what this was all about, to bring them up to speed with what's available. So this is brought to us by residents, it was not brought to us by anybody else. Concerned residents. And so we're going to take it upon ourselves and take it into consideration of what's available and what can be done. And yes, gotta start all over. And
It's only fun. Print more every day.
every day. But do I have any more public comments?
Yep.
Yes, ma'am.
I was just gonna say one more thing about putting it up for a vote. It's like doing a survey. And it's all about how it's worded, and it's easy to manipulate and get the response that you want.
Well, once we decide if we're going to do anything, there'll be a budget set. There will be a budget. And all this time that this has been going on for the last how many years, there's never been a budget saying this is how much. It's always been, oh, we need more, or we need more. And the budget has to be set, it has to be carved in stone, and that's where it's got to be. Whether you cut back or cut back, that's what it's got to be. But we're not going to cut our throat. That's the way I look at it. It's already been proved that this place is too small. We noticed that in the last meeting we had. And I think that it's going to be more times there's going to be meetings like that. I don't like it, but it's not. You guys don't remember the day where we had math at school. So I'm just saying this was all consideration.
Mary Milner, 1038 South Line Center Road. What are the next steps then? So would you present like a plan for this building and a new building at a meeting? Is that kind of what, once you do all of the?
What would we do with it?
Just put together a conceptual plan and some renderings of the building. There would be, like, I typically will have a full work scope, everything right down to detail budget. There you go.
Okay, so, yeah, I think that to make this building ADA compliant is going to lose all of the historical value. No, you don't think so? Okay.
Well, there's conceptual.
And,
I'm just saying, I'm just saying this.
at one of the last meetings, I was over here, and a gentleman in a wheelchair came over, and I handed him the clipboard. When he went to reach the clipboard, he rolled back. This floor is, how much would it cost to replace this entire floor and make it completely level and compliant? Like, then the floor is gone. Everybody's gonna be mad because this beautiful historic floor is gone. So I think we have to think about those things, so.
We don't know what's upstairs, we don't know what's on the walls. Those are all
Right.
things that,
There's been a lot of stuff.
There's been all kinds of studies done.
I would love to see this be the Lima Center Historic Society. Then we can preserve the large windows and we can do that. And we don't have to do it, we don't have to make it suitable for, yes. Yeah. But we don't have to make it suitable for large meetings. We can have, I just think a new space would be so much easier. It was so nice to go to the Sylvan Township Hall, even though I thought it was too small. But like, walk right in. I mean, I have troubles staying steady on this floor. Every time I come to vote, and I would bring my mother to come to vote, I had to hold, upright. So I think we just really have to be cautious about saying that we can make this suitable because it will lose the character of the building.
thank you, Mark. Anybody else? Yes, ma'am. State your name.
Karen Brennan, I live on the road, and just after the potluck meeting, everyone coming together this week, and having a space for everyone would be so awesome. I don't have anything to really, I love this building, I was working in this building, I also love this building, so I'm biased either way, but also remembering that our township ranges from 1 to 100 years old, and creating a space that's good for everyone. It's dangerous on Jackson Road, and we have the kids out playing, it would be nice to have a safe space for them, and then like our handicap spot is for rocky stones, and it was really hard to watch all the youth there trying to like find a spot to feel safe, and I guess whatever path that we take, I just want it to be a safe where we're all welcome, and everyone feels like we're safe there.
And actually, Terry on Lima Center, to kind of piggyback off of Tara's comment, against the parking lot in the area of the potluck on Tuesday, and a lot of people were here for that, and some of you guys weren't. But even like strollers and the small children, and if we had a community space like that, I would just love to see our community gathered more. I know the history part is terrifying, and a lot of us were so worried and we've been having a hard time, but watching our community come together like that was one of the best things I've ever seen in my life. And though I was terrified, I had to be terrified. And the moving silence when we all found out that it wasn't something that happening, it was just amazing. And having this group of people I never knew before, that I'm closer to than ever, and having it right here, I just want to have a space that is like welcoming for these people to spend time with again. Because I've never been a person who was that close with her neighbors, and now I know all the neighbors. And it's just a really cool feeling to drive down the street. Now I know everybody I'm driving with. And everybody else with people like and that was super cool. And I just love having that space and either making this space that spot or making a new space that spot. I think it really does need to be vibrant for our area. It's like a tight community. And so much of the world is losing that, and I don't want this part of the world to lose that.
And also, in Lima Township, I have 4 kids from 3 to 14. We don't have space around here. We have to like go downtown, but every people, they have like a little park or something, but I just was like, they're gonna be from there, it's always from here.
Thank you. Anybody else, public comment?
Hey, you all spoke. That's still pretty great.
What's that?
100%.
I didn't speak, and I speak to briefly. Yes, briefly.
Go ahead.
Just being new to, working for my internship for the last year. The hardest thing for me has been schlepping the equipment to do this, because there's no good place to store the equipment that, we can lock it up. So and to be in this hot box, I don't handle heat well, so I think it's great to have a place with air conditioning, large enough for people, and when the heat works, it's good, and it doesn't run out of fuel. Yeah. So I've experienced all the highs and the lows. I've frozen here, and I have cooked here. It's just so hot. Last summer it was so hot. So I think it's great to have one space where we have room for our hall, for our meetings, and to have our offices close by with our equipment and everything.
And I don't think that no matter if you want this or want that, I think whatever it is, it's all going to be that. And Eric said it, whatever we decide, whatever the board decides, it's going to be a great place. Is it going to be what everyone agrees to? No, I can't make it. When you try to make everybody
answer we know.
Exactly. Well, when you try to make everybody happy, you make nobody.
Yeah.
But we have to be careful. We are being brainwashed as a society, thinking new things. That's the whole data center power type. When you brainwash them to think new things, not
Adding on to that, I think the air conditioning, we get a window in the fridge just for the.
right. You want on the Facebook and you just plug it
We're
into
not
the
gonna have
wall.
a new building next month, so we got more meetings.
What about splits where they can thing outside, like I'm
Gotta poke a hole in the asbestos.
But you could put something in the window and it would cool the building.
I got the fan blowing on me.
There's also little air conditioners now. That sit in the
Yeah.
They sit on the bottom of the window.
I just started seeing them.
Yeah, the window only has to be open about this much.
I mean, the room might need two, one on each side.
Anything would help.
As long as they're.
Yeah, I just didn't see them.
Yeah.
So that's worth looking into.
If you go down to Bridgewater Township, they have almost the identical building. And it's beautiful. I mean, the ladies have made curtains. I mean, so, well, they did. The ladies made curtains. I'm just saying. And it's a little bit deeper than this building, which you have that on in the back. But they have their offices on the end, and obviously it's a much smaller township, but it's beautiful. It is beautiful, and they have air conditioning. You can go, I mean, it's right on Clinton Road. It's just south of Austin Road, right on Clinton Road. Well, you should. Right on
You guys can talk later.
Okay. Any more? Yes, ma'am.
I'm not totally opposed to remodeling this building, but it's gonna have to be sold to me. Like, I don't see it happening.
Okay.
Not that I don't believe in what you can do, but I just don't see it happening and keeping the character of the building.
Okay. Okay, at this time, we're gonna close public comment. I will take a motion to adjourn.
I'll support that.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, seeing none. Meeting. And
Thanks for coming.
thank you very much.